Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the light, embrace the dawn. Empowerment is going strong. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today. Morning gods, we shine so bright. Wisdom flowing pure insight. Soars through God's words, they lift us high. New beginnings reach the sky. Every moment take it in. Start anew, let's begin. From the dawn to the night, together we ignite. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today.
Do. I know y'all dance and sing along to it. I know you have to know that opening theme song by now. Good morning and welcome to First Light Reflections, your weekday guide to self-discovery and empowerment, where each sunrise brings you and I a new, fresh opportunity to do what, family? I know you know it by now. To reflect, reset, and create the best version of ourselves. God be praised, family. I want to talk to you about the forecast. And that forecast you keep ignoring. You know when the weatherman says rain tomorrow, sunshine, well, there may be a chance of snow, but oftentimes we ignore the forecast. Before I greet the chat, let's sit in this for a moment. What if the real storm isn't around you? It's with you. What if your delay didn't start with disobedience, but with the distraction in disguise that you've been calling friends? Friends, what about your friend? I know you know the song, because Proverbs chapter 13 doesn't lie to us. It hasn't led us astray at all. You don't become who you pray to be. You become who you walk with consistently. And that right there, right? Here's a hard question. When you check the forecast of your life, is it raining delay because of who you're still letting ride shotgun? Because that uneasiness in your spirit, that I don't belong here feeling that we often get around certain people, that's not social anxiety. No, it's spiritual discernment. And before it, if you ignore it long enough, you'll start mistaking comfort for confirmation. Before we even open our word, our devotional text this morning, put this in the chat, family. If you are ready to go, are y'all ready to go there today? Because that's the plan. Let me know. I'm ready to align. Say, ready to align, coach. Let's align. Let me know if you're ready to go there today as I take a glance at our poll and see where we're at. Our poll this morning, be honest. Who's influencing your direction right now? Comfortable friendships sits at 12%. Old patterns also sits at 12%. Godly counsel riding at 62% so far. And I'm just not even sure anymore. I don't know, is riding at 12%. So we have three of them tied at 12% with godly counsel sitting right at 62%. So we'll see. Are y'all ready to align this morning? Right? Welcome to First Light Reflections. And today's message is real, it's raw, and guess what? It's necessary. It is necessary because sometimes your destiny isn't being delayed by the devil at all. It's being drained by your decisions about who's around you. But before I dive in, let me take a moment to greet and see and acknowledge our wonderful, wonderful community that gathers here at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time each weekday morning. Most of the times before I do, when I come in, get everything up, I can already see movement into the chat. I can see things moving. So you guys beat me here, right? Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Michelle. How are you, my friend? Good morning, Delisa. How are you, sister? I hope all is well. What's going on, San? Good morning. G. Albert. G. Albert, do we have that ginger tea this morning? I hope so. So glad to see you. Hey, hold up. What's going on, Jay? How you doing, 15G? I can hear her now. Hey, Tara. Charlotte, sometimes. And, of course, Alicia. Alicia, you can go ahead and pick them paper plates and those plastic silverware up this morning. I need you to hand out the heavy dishes this morning. We need the heavy dishes this morning because we're going into a full plate today. Good morning, Jess. So glad to see you, my sweet friend. Mama B, Mama B, I love you. How you doing? Glad to see you. G. Albert says my drumming femurs were tapping to the music. I know y'all know that theme song by now. Delisa says ready to go, ready to align. Hey, look here. Lee says alignment, please. Good morning, dear Lee. And of course, Burton. How you doing, Vanessa? You all right? All right. There we go. Jessica ready to align. Lord, mercy. Done put the pause in me. Good morning, Mommy. So glad to see you. Good morning to my dear, sweet, beautiful mother. Y'all know, boy, y'all should have saw her when we went for Teacher of the Year. 2 years in a row. Boy, I was, it was a wonderful evening that I was able to spend with my dear mommy. All right, Sister Lily says, good morning, Coach, and everyone. Prayers over this lesson. God, help me. Pray for me, Michelle. Pray for all of us. Pray for all of us because y'all know the message is for the messenger first as well. And Alicia says, got you. All right, y'all start pulling up the mother plates. Alicia bringing out the good dishes this morning. Let's get into it, family. And all of you that are watching silently or catching the replay, thank you. Your presence may be quiet, but I pray that your growth is loud and transformational right along with us. And I am glad that you are here. Let's get underway. Let's do things decent and order. God is a God of order, and Lord knows I strive to be, but I'm far from perfect. But let's do this. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for bringing us together. We ask that you guide us this morning as we go through a very important message that the wisdom of Proverbs has to give us this morning. Lord, we ask that you tabernacle with us and may you be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, family, let us not delay. Let us get underway as we prepare to get brutally honest. Keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times. Make sure you take all belongings with you because anything left behind does become the property of me. All right, let's get to it. You're not off track. You're not off track. You're just surrounded. Your surroundings are wrong. The forecast shady with a chance of fake friends. You're not stuck because you're weak. You're not stuck because your circle isn't strong. You pray for wisdom, guess what? But run with fools. You say, I want clarity, but keep hanging with people who celebrate, who revel in confusion. You say, oh Lord, I'm trying to change, but your people still are feeding the old you. And here's what God is showing us. You can't walk in wisdom and keep close company with chaos. It's just not possible. Because wisdom isn't just taught, guess what? It's caught, but so is foolishness. In every relationship that we entertain is either sharpening our edges or dulling our discernment. So here's today's call out. If you want the life that God promised, you better check who's riding with you. Who's riding side by side? Who's that ride or die? And this brings us to our question of the day. Who are the top 3 voices influencing your decisions? And what fruit are they producing in your life? Look in your basket. I'm looking in my basket of fruit. I know. You holding it. Don't eat all the mangoes now while I'm doing this lesson. All right. What fruit are they producing in your life? And don't just answer emotionally. Be honest with this question of the day because your friendships are either fertilizer for growth or fuel for destruction. And Proverbs doesn't sugarcoat it, so let's not we. You can be doing all the right things and still be sinking because of the people that are around you. When who you're with speaks louder than what you're doing, it's a sign. That's a sign. It's a red flag. Flag on the play. It's not always about our effort. It's also about our environment. Because in the kingdom of God, proximity is prophecy. And when you walk and when you walk with the wrong people, that turns around and puts it as when you walk and who you walk with often shapes what walks into your life, what walks out of it, what tramples through it. It plays a huge part in it. And see, there's a reason that your spirit keeps bringing up that one friend, that one person continually comes to mind, that one group chat, that one person who always drains you. See, the unfinished conversation that just sits in the pit of your stomach. Why is that? It's because you haven't confronted it yet. And until you do, guess what? That open loop, you remember that open loop that we talk about and how the brain cannot move on until you close the loop. And until you do, that open loop will keep echoing through your discernment. So before we even break down the verses, before we even get into it, ask yourself this. What if I'm not off the path because I made a bad turn, a wrong turn, but because I let the wrong person ride shotgun and read off the directions? You remember before we got these nice devices that told us which direction to go, and before you would leave, and you would leave the house with 20 pages sometimes, depending on where you were going, because we had to print off the directions. Remember those? What was that site? Was that MapQuest? And you'd have to print it off. But instead of reading it in reverse, you'd print, okay, let me print off my directions going there. Let me print off my directions coming back. And if I want to make a few stops, let me print off those too. So you leave the house with all this paper. And goodness mercy if they got out of order while you were driving, right? So what if you weren't off the wrong path? And it wasn't because you made a wrong turn, but simply because the person riding shotgun, giving you the directions, was the wrong person. Wrong person. Let's see. Man. So, before we even break down the verses, again, remember, ask yourself these questions. And still stop to ask for directions sometimes, right? Right. That's the thing. Had all the stuff right there. God bless. AAA trip tickets. Verse 20. Let's roll into it. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. See, family, wisdom is contagious, but foolishness, so is foolishness. Let's break this down in real time. He who walks with wise men will be wise. See, wisdom isn't downloaded. It's a daily decision to keep close company with people who challenge, correct, and call us higher. They say, hey, rise up. You're better than that. No. That's not how we walk. We do things differently. People that call you higher, not to drag you down and say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to climb down there with you. I'll be down there in a second. Right? Walk with wisdom long enough. And guess what? It starts rubbing off. But the companion of fools will be destroyed. Not harmed. You see? Not harmed. Destroyed. Not inconvenienced. Destroyed. That means if you cozy up to foolishness long enough, their fire can become our funeral. See, that means when you keep choosing foolish company, you're not just at risk of influence, you're partnering freely, intentionally with destruction. But the companion of fools will be destroyed. Because proximity is a choice. We say, oh, they made me do it. No, they didn't make you. No, the option was there. We had free will. You know, Flip Wilson lied to everybody. The devil made me do it. No, Flip. You had free will. You had free choice, just like God gives each one of us. So proximity is a choice. And while you might not have lit the match, you made the decision. You chose to sit in the fire. So here's the reflection check. Are you suffering from battles that weren't yours because you stayed too long in someone else's war zone? So you found yourself getting hit with the shrapnel, dodging the bullets. You're like, wait a minute. And you ducking and dodging because you're in someone else's war zone, someone else's mess. Because their storm didn't touch you by accident. Guess what? You said, you know what? I'm going to stand right here in the rain with you without an umbrella. Facts. That's it. Verse 21, evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. This verse is simple, but it's sharp. It's surgical. Evil pursues sinners. This means bad choices don't just come with consequences. They come chasing you. Once they get a glimpse, there goes Charlotte. Remember in the cartoons, you can hear the sound in your head when they would take off running. It comes chasing you. Once it gets your glimpse, it's going to chase you down. And when your life is out of alignment, trouble doesn't just knock at the door. It doesn't stand there and wait on you to look at the Ring doorbell and be like, who's out there? When our life is out of alignment, trouble comes and kicks the door wide open. But, let me hope you right now, right? But to the righteous, good shall be repaid. So here's the promise that we walk in. When we walk in wisdom, blessings are in your path. See, you don't have to force favor when we're in alignment. Why? Because it finds you. Righteous good shall be repaid. So today's focus is clear. Check your circle. Check your walk. Check your outcomes. What have been the outcomes? How have they been looking? See, and let's be real. Most believers don't fall because they stop loving God. They fall because they started normalizing dysfunction within their circles, within their sphere. See, the slippery slide doesn't begin oftentimes with a big decision. It starts with little agreements, creeping compromises, as we call them. Those little things that tend to beset us, throw us off track. See, it's just one compromised value, one tolerated conversation, one harmless connection. Just one, starts with one, until suddenly we find ourselves planted in soil that was not designed, that was not cultivated to hold our fruit. It wasn't. The wrong kind of campfire. Amen. Proximity is a choice. It's not the big things, it's the little things. Those are decisions that we need to watch out for. Come on, Florence. Let's talk about that one friend. That one friend that you've maybe been avoiding conviction about. You know the one. Every time you leave their presence, you feel off kilter. You feel drained. You feel like maybe some of the blocks that you had built onto the foundation are out of sync. They've fallen off the building. You're like, oh my goodness, I got to start over. I got to put that back up. You feel something's off. And every time you ask for advice, they grab the biggest spoon that they can find. You guys remember when almost every home back in the late 70s, early 80s, for some reason, decided to buy those huge wooden forks and spoons and hang them on the wall in the kitchen or in the dining room, they go find those type of spoons. Give me a one if you remember those. You may still have them hanging in your house. I know we had a set. Mom, what happened to those things? You remember those? Huge wooden things hanging on the wall, a fork and a spoon. And every time you ask for advice, this friend, they find one of those size spoons or forks and they feed your ego, the ego, not your spirit. And deep down, you felt the tension. God's been nudging. I know. God's been nudging you about that connection. Just remember some. Sister Lily's like, yeah, I remember those. You remember? They were in almost every house. You can still find them now. You can see them every now and then in the if you go in the Goodwill, the Salvation Army. Maybe I ought to find me a set and hang them back there. What y'all say? No, ain't happening. But God's been nudging you about that connection. But comfort made it easier to stay than to make the shift. See, let's not ignore that nudge today. Our goal is to name it and then move. Let's take a look at our poll and see where we're at. Comfortable friendships has jumped up to 17%. Old patterns dropped down to 8%. Godly counsel sitting at 58% now. And I'm just not sure anymore. It's still sitting at 17% in our poll. Let's name this thing and move on. Let's bring that conviction into the light. Why do we want to do this? You're like, Coach, why you always got to go opening up closets and lifting rugs and all that stuff? It's so that we can start shifting from default into destiny. And let's look at how all of this just quietly, violin, the music, it just sounds so beautiful that it just lulls us to sleep and quietly plays out before us at this time in Earth's history. You hang with people who gossip about everyone. It's the first thing they say usually when they call you. They got something to report about someone else. But wonder why you feel spiritually dry. You're spiritually drained because you've been dining on gossip. They've been feeding you with that big wooden spoon. See, and that's not just noise. Let's name it. We're told to call sin by its right name. Here's the name for it. It's spiritual contamination. You're trusting inconsistent voices to shape goals that God said, I need you to be consistent with these. But we're trusting inconsistent voices to shape consistent goals. See, don't call it community if it continues to cost you clarity. It feels supportive. It sounds encouraging. But if the people speaking into your vision don't live by the same discipline, discernment, and direction, guess what? You're not being built. You're being intentionally blurred at this point. You're being blindsided. See, subtle sabotage looks like flaky accountability partners, encouragers that never challenge you, and advice that feels good, but you find yourself way off of the route. You're off the mission. Call it what it is. Distracted guidance leads to delayed greatness every single time. See, we have to choose voices that reflect where you're going, not where we've been. See, you're growing, but your crew, your ride or dies, they keep pulling you into pettiness, offense, and also distraction. That's not friendship. That is not friendship. That, family, is friendly fire. That's not support. That's friendly fire. When your maturity becomes a threat to their comfort, guess what? They're not going to correct you. They're going to do everything possible to contain you, to keep you in the same spot. See, friendship that doesn't constantly, friendship that doesn't constantly propel you forward, but constantly pulls you backward, isn't love. That, the name for it, is limitation. If they can't rise with you, they'll try to recenter the drama around them, to refocus you to them. So discern the difference. Discern the difference. Why? Why is this important? Because your destiny deserves much better company. You see, your mindset, our mindset is the gatekeeper of our circles. Our gatekeeper. So let's be real. Before you shift your circle, you also have to make another shift. What's the first shift? Before we begin shifting the circle, changing it around, what's the first thing that we have to do? I'll wait. Let me do a check-in over here. I'll wait. Friends will confirm what God has already spoken to you. Amen. Sometimes the enemy will try to convince you to ignore the nudge as false accusation or judging others. Yes, it is. Because in the past, Jessica says, I would just block and move on. That block hand was strong. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I ain't going to do it, Florence. I ain't putting them things back there. And most cannot rise with you. When God is shifting you, he will shift people in the spirit. Exactly. Charlotte says, shall we pause? What's the first thing that you have to do before you make the shift in that circle? What is the first thing that has to change? Remember, if someone slanders others, they slander you. Hey, the same dog that brings a bone carries a bone. Remember that. Michelle says, pray. Before you shift that circle, you have to acknowledge and also shift your internal script. See, because the enemy doesn't just bind you with people. He binds you and connects you with phrases that sound loyal, but keep you limited. You say, let's talk about it. The reason some friendships still feel unsettled in your spirit is because your mind hasn't released what your soul has already withgrown. Right? You've grown now into a size 10, but you're still walking around in a 2T. And then, and you see people, the stomach hanging out, everything. The arms squeezed to death, looking like a Easter ham. You still trying to walk around in the same clothes. You've grown. So now we have to detox the dialogue and flip the script, literally flip the script. So instead of, we've been friends forever, don't tell me I known them such a long time. We grew up together, man. We ran the streets. We was out there shooting marbles and stuff together. Man, we've been friends forever. Say, loyalty to old cycles is betrayal to my calling. And I'm telling you, family, you're going to have to learn to say these things with your chest, 10 toes down. Loyalty to old cycles is a betrayal to my calling. See, this one hits hard because it sounds disloyal at first. You're like, Coach, you telling me, my girl, we've been together for a long time, my friends. See, it sounds disloyal, but guess what? It's actually obedient. See, the phrase, we've been friends forever, it feels noble. I understand. I get it. It feels noble. Like staying connected is the right thing to do just because of history. We go way back. But here's the truth. Most people won't dare say it out loud. But lean in. Time together doesn't equal alignment today. There we go. I said it. Time together doesn't equal alignment today. Sometimes that forever friend is still stuck in cycles that you've been delivered from, still feeding the old version of you that you've been healing from, still speaking into your life, even though they no longer walk in the same direction. They're on a completely different path, but yelling directions over to you as they go in the opposite direction. And if you're not careful, your loyalty becomes your leash. They're walking you, taking you on a walk through the park. So this is a wake-up call. God doesn't just call you out of sin. He also says, hey, come here, come here. He calls you out of circles that cannot and will not survive your next season. See, you're not betraying them. You're not. See, the world wants you to think that, but you're not betraying them. You're breaking agreement with who you used to be, and that's not abandonment. That, family, is alignment. That's alignment. We have to learn the difference in our words. It's not abandonment like, oh, you abandoned me. You done kicked me to the curb. No, I just realigned myself, put myself in a different position. When they reach out, it's usually not to see how you're doing. It's usually about how their day is. They never even ask how you're doing. One-sided conversations. Come on now. Knowing when they have moved from friend to acquaintance. Right with you today. Come on, Michelle. Come on. Speak, Lord. I needed this lesson today. I'm dealing with a parasitic friendship. You know, and there's a part that's coming up in this lesson that hold on. I'm getting there. I wrestled with this one. Yeah, I'm telling them how I fought you. I fought you with this one. Because the way I had it, he said, go back. Undo it, redo it. And I always wait on those 3 pieces of confirmation. Let me share something with y'all. In Bible study last night, my 3rd piece of confirmation, you want to know where it came from? Came from Jess. Because she pulled up an example that I have coming up. Little did she know, God was using you, baby. God was using you. And when she said it, I just smiled in my shanana and I said, all right. And I high-fived him. I said, okay, we good now. Come on, let's go to bed. So let's get back to this. This is not abandonment. We have to learn the difference between abandonment and alignment. You know, not only abandoning them, you're abandoning yourself as well, the purpose that God has given to us. So we have to be careful and aware of this. And I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anything here, missed anyone. All right. Right, the 2T. You see it, we see it every day. People walking around forgetting. Don't even want, still, give me that 2T, that 3T. You know what? I know that I need a large, but I'm going to wear a small today. It's what happens. We see it. See, instead of, oh, they're not that bad, say, if they're not sharpening me, what's happening, family? What's happening? They're dulling you, dulling your senses, spiritually, emotionally, and sometimes financially. Instead of, I can fix them. I'm going to bring them up. You know what I mean? Boy, I probably still got some dents in my head from this one. I can fix them. They going to change. They won't be like this the whole, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say I do. Even down to that, I'm going to go ahead and say I do because they going to change once we get together. Ooh, wee. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to bring them up. I can fix it. You know what? Say I can love them without living like them. Reframe it. See, these reframes, these aren't just clever sayings. These right here, these are soul shifts. Loyalty to old circles is a betraying of my company. Better memorize these. If they're not sharpening me, they're dulling me. I can love them, but I don't have to live like them. These are your soul shifts. Because once you stop explaining away patterns, making excuses for misalignment, and calling dysfunction, I'm just loyal, calling dysfunction loyalty, you will clearly begin to see what's been leaking your clarity and draining your discernment. You leave and meet up with them on full tank is full. You're like, man. But the more time you spend each conversation, you're like, man, I feel kind of drained. I'm kind of tired now. All of a sudden, you're like, man, I'm ready to go back home. I wish I wouldn't even came. There's a leak. There's a leak in this old building. Somebody know the song. Finish it for me, Sister Lily. Here's the truth. You don't need to dishonor anyone to move forward. You don't. But you do need to stop dragging yesterday's voices into tomorrow's vision. So ask yourself, am I surrounded by sharpening or just old sentiments? Because what feels safe may actually be stalling your growth. The forecast, shady with a chance of fake friends. Let's talk about the enemy's exploits and expose the spiritual warfare that likes to hide in these relationships. Let's call it out. Let's expose it. See, the devil doesn't always send demons, believe it or not. He sends distractions, but those distractions, they have names. Keisha, Wanda, Freddie, Becky, Jackie, Linda, Taquan, Tyshawn, Shaquita. They have names. He sends faces. They're smiling. Come on. Don't make me go by myself. How many times have you went along with foolery? Give me a 1 in the comments. How many times have you went along with foolery just because someone simply said, I'll drive? You don't have to drive. I'll drive. Give me a 1. How many times have you ended up in foolery because of the simple words, 2 simple words, I'll drive? You're like, well, shoot, I ain't got to drive. I'll go. But we knew. So we willingly said, okay, I'm gonna get in this car and I'm going to let you drive me on to hell and foolishness. See, that's a willing choice. He sends distractions that have names, they have faces, and they have hashtags as well. Come on now. Come on. There we go. They get in the car. And you just ride. And you do you not? For everybody to say in one, Shaquan, get you in trouble. Shaquan said, I drive. Come on, Lee. Grab your bag, grab your shoes. I drive. You know what? Here's another one. If you drive, I'll put the gas in the car. I'll pay for the gas. I'll put the gas in. I give you gas money. Give me a 1. Give me a 2 on that one. If they've said, I'll give you the gas money, and you say, shoot, okay then, because I'm running a little bit low. I can use my money for my lunch tomorrow. Come on, give me a 2 on that one. The forecast, shady, with a chance of fake friends. Or they say, you know what? You need a break. You've been studying a lot lately. You've been a little bit too hammed up. And then be wondering, how did I get here? And how the heck do I get out of this? Come on. We've been there. Man, Regina said, mercy. So remember, these it's not always coming as a demon that's waking you up in the middle of the night trying to strangle you and mumbling all kind of unknown witchcraftery. This is witchcraft. Those distractions, those names, those faces, those hashtags. See, he knows you won't bow the knee to Baal, to sin. So what does he do? He gets you to bond with someone else that does, that'll drive for you, that'll give you the gas money, that'll help you take a little bit of stress off. You know, I was watching an interview yesterday, and the guy was saying how he was drunk. He wrecked his car. He makes his way home to his friend. And he's telling his friend about the bad night he had had. He had wrecked his car. Do you know what this friend told him? Man, you sound stressed out. You probably need you probably need a drink. Let me make you a drink. Bruh, he said that was his wake-up call. When he felt the Lord nudging him saying, see, you just wrecked your car. Not only could have killed yourself, but other people on the road. And this companion that you've decided to companion up and fool with just told you that you need another drink. See, he attaches you to the reckless friend who disguises rebellion as freedom, the religious friend who masks bitterness as discernment, the successful friend whose ambition replaces surrender. Why does he do this? Because the enemy doesn't have to destroy you. He just has to keep you walking with someone who will put the gas in the car, with someone that'll say, I'll drive, walking with someone who will. The reckless friend who disguises rebellion as freedom. See, this is the one who says, don't be so religious. It don't take all that. You're allowed to live a little. They call compromise growth and boundaries. Boundaries. What's the word? Put it in the chat. They call boundaries. Starts with an L, ends with an M. I'll give you a hint. Boundaries. If you start talking about you have boundaries, especially within the church building, in the church body, boy, they're going to hit you with that L word. They're going to hit you with it. Come on. Grow a little. Live a little. No. Call it what it is. Compromise a little. Go 2 more steps closer to hell. And when you mention boundaries, limits, legalism. Legalism. That's legalism. But here's the truth. They're not free. They're not free at all. They think they are. They're just undisciplined. And if you hang around long enough, you're going to start lowering your convictions just to stay connected. Remember on that show, Lowered Expectations? You'll start lowering your convictions just so you can stay connected with them. But I got to have friends. I'm going to be all by myself. How do I know? I have 2 PhDs. Probably have done it. Probably had it done to me. See, the religious friend who masks that bitterness as discernment, they sound deep. They wax eloquent. Boy, they can come with them words. But guess what? They speak from wounds. They sound like they have wisdom. Like a lot of the people in these YouTube streets. And I'll just sit on the channels and watch. And I'm like, that's a hurt person. That's a hurt person that's leading people to destruction. I can see it in the eyes and I can hear it in the voice. They sound like they have wisdom. They know scripture. Boy, they can pray with the best of them. They drop spiritual one-liners, boy, like they're real prophetic. But if you pay close attention to the tone, it's the tone beneath their truth. It's cold, it's critical, and it's always calling stuff out. Always calling stuff out in Jesus' name. I just have to highlight the word. I just got to put this out here. It's cold, it's critical, it's nasty. And we have a lot of them. We have a lot of them out there. They're the news reporters for everything. For every denomination under the sun. They're reporting it. But never, never calling people up. They say, I just see through people. God showed me that their spirit was off. But see, what you're really hearing, it isn't discernment. It's unhealed offense that's wrapped in spiritual language. See, they're not guarding your spirit. They're projecting themselves from a guarded heart. And if you are not careful, family, you'll start copying their suspicion, right? They use their paranoia to get you paranoid. Somebody gonna catch what I'm saying. Somebody gonna read between the lines. You'll start copying their suspicion and their paranoia, and they'll make you convinced that you paranoid because, boy, they speaking real good. But what they're saying really don't make any sense. But you'll start copying that suspicion instead of carrying God's compassion and standing on a thus saith the Lord. The successful friend whose ambition replaces surrender. Y'all might want to text your boss and say, I'm going to be a few minutes late this morning. Yeah. The successful friend whose ambition replaces surrender, they seem like they're winning. See, the money's up, the platform's growing, the influence is rising. Boy, it's just, they're rising, they're moving. But if you really look, surrender is nowhere in the pictures, nowhere to be seen. God's voice was replaced with hustle, grind, and culture. Purpose got replaced with pressure. And if you stay too close, you'll start measuring your value by their grind instead of by God's guidance. See, here's the spiritual alert. The enemy doesn't just tempt. He ties you to people outside of God's covering. Tear down, not edify and elevate. I'm telling you, family. Legalism, that's what they call it. That's what they call it. Put a term on it. And it is contagious. See, because he knows that what and who you walk with, you start to look and walk like. Think about it. You may have not even liked a certain style of dress, a certain style of music, even certain foods. But the more you've hung with that person, I kind of like them things now. I kind of like this now. Man, you know what? I never used to like. See, we've unpacked a hard truth today. Not everyone who started with you is assigned to finish with you. See, some of you aren't battling demons. You're battling distractions because you won't distance yourselves from the source. And the worst part, we call it, that's love. That's history. We go way back, coach. But see, in heaven's courtroom, it's called delay by agreement. Delay by compromise. See, you don't have to be in sin to be out of position. You just have to be in a circle that can't carry what God is trying to birth inside of you next. What's this? I know you remember. What's this, family? Let me know. Let me know as I look at our poll here. Godly counsel at 62%. I'm not sure anymore. Let's see. The next, I'm not sure anymore, and comfortable friendships are sitting at 15%. Old patterns still riding at 8%. So it looks like godly counsel has rounded us out. What's this? I know y'all remember this thing. What is it? A sifter. A sifter. A sifter. And what is this sifter designed to do? It separates what's fine, the fine things, from what doesn't belong. It creates a separation, right? You remember you hit the thing. My grandma used to get mad because we had the kind that you squeeze and she'd be like, and I'd be making sounds with it, making music. She'd be like, put my sifter down, tear you up. See, so you have to ask yourself, what if God is sifting you, not through storms, but through your circle? What is God trying to sift? We started to go, all my friends. Every time I find friends, yeah. See, could the shaking that you're feeling be God trying to sift and remove what no longer can fit and go into your next season? Let this hit your spirit. Let you sit with this. Every relationship It's either reinforcing your calling, rehearsing you back through your past, day in and day out, or resisting your growth. And see, this next part of our devotional, it's not to get you emotional. It's surgical. We doing work this morning. See, some of the confusion you've been battling isn't from lack of prayer. It's from a lack of pruning. You've prayed for, I need that next, I'm ready to go to the next level. You've prayed for clarity. But guess what? I know. You're praying for clarity. But you continue to keep first level company. And here's what's wild. Your calling is loud, but your surroundings have been much louder and drowning out that voice. And this prayer watch, it silences the noise. 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., that afternoon watch. It's also called the watch of exposure and alignment. See, this is the hour when God holds up that mirror to your friendships, alliances, and those hidden loyalties. When the sun is at its high peak, heaven's clarity exposes what compromise has tried to camouflage. And it's not to embarrass us, but to realign us. Activate the watch. Here's what you pray. God, expose every friendship that's outlived its assignment. Every friendship that has outlived its assignment. It served its season. It served its purpose. Break soul ties that look like support, but they're rooted in sabotage. Give me the discernment to see who's draining me, even if they smile while doing it. Give me the strength to exit conversations that shrink my calling and reset my loyalty, not to comfort, but to your will. My answer is both comfortable friendships because of godly counsel. Have mercy. Not good to listen to everything and everybody on or off Facebook. Must also be careful about hidden message in Christian books as well as movies. Come on now. Let the scales just fall off. Let them fall off this morning. Let them fall off. Today, between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m., write the names of 3 people who have the most access to your thoughts and your time. Your thoughts and your time. Then ask, put them through the sifter. Are they wise or just familiar? Do they hold me accountable or they just the hype man or the hype woman for my dysfunction? Do I feel clearer or cloudier after spending time with them? Because whoever has your ear, guess what? They're molding and shaping your direction. After that sift of the flour, they take that flour and they're like, hold on, let me put this together. Let me make you a nice, pretty cake. Yeah, sure. Do I feel clearer? Do I feel cloudier? What do I feel like after I spend time with them? Because who has that ear? That's what's shaping your direction. Are they calling you back off the wrong path? Or are they saying, go ahead and jump off that cliff. I know how to swim. I'm going to come down there and get you. Let this be the hour you don't just pray for exposure, but you act on what's been revealed, because what you tolerate in silence becomes what you inherit in sabotage. So don't just align in prayer, family. Align in proximity. Allow God to prune it so that he can come in and bless it. See, this isn't just midday prayer. This is a moment of mid-course correction, because silence doesn't always mean peace, marvelous peace. Sometimes silence is where compromise has gone unchecked. So you just do what? You know you're uncomfortable, you don't agree with it, you don't like it, that you know that it is not of God. So you choose, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just going to be silent. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to go along to get along. I'm just keeping the peace. So a hard fact, silence is where compromise is unchecked. But not anymore. Not anymore. This is the moment. This is the moment to say, God, I won't just pray bold. I'm going to straighten up and I'm going to walk bold. I won't just ask for clarity. I'll obey what you show me. The truth, you don't need more confirmation. You need more courage to walk out what God has already exposed. Your side's hurting because he's been nudging you. You know, people used to elbow you, or you'd be acting and be clowning in public, and your mom would take that elbow, cut it out. Wouldn't even look over, just cut it out. So you don't need more courage to walk it out. What God has already exposed, you don't. You got this. And if you need to learn more about the power of these prayer watches, click the link in the description or scan the code on the screen. So as we shift now, family, into our final word for today, here's what I want you to do. Don't just log off in reflection today. Don't just log off in reflection. What I really want you to do is lean in with resolve today. Because what I'm about to say is not just a conclusion. Here's the commission that you've been praying for. Here's the hard truth. Not everyone who loves you is assigned to your destiny. Some are attached to your history, but they're allergic to your growth. They knew the old you. They were comfortable with the wounded you, but they aren't assigned to the healed, the focused, and the called version of you. That version of you that has made your calling and election sure. They can't handle it. And now, every time you try to rise, they grab you and they pull you back into circles that you've already outgrown. You have to wiggle your way in because you've outgrown it. You can't just fit right into it anymore. You feel uncomfortable. It's like trying to put these size 16 hips into a size 10. I've outgrown a size 10. I may never see a size 10 again in my life. They try and pull you back into those circles that you've already outgrown. But hear this. Hear this. Let me help you right now. Loyalty is not God's replacement for obedience. No. And if God is calling you forward, if he's saying, come out from among them, you cannot keep dragging people behind you that he's been trying to separate you from. It's like when someone invites you somewhere, hey, Alicia, I'm going to pick you up to go shopping. We just going shopping. But then I show up and you done brought 10 more people. You didn't. Where these people come from? You ever have somebody do that? You invite them to something and they show up and they bring 10 more people with them. Man, You don't owe anyone your stagnation. Not your crew, not your cousin, not your comfort zone. You owe God your movement, your intentional action. So let today be the day you stop negotiating with your future just to protect someone else's feelings. You were never called to blend in with foolishness. No, ma'am. No, sir. You were called to clearly walk in wisdom. And that road is too narrow to try and take everyone with you. Straight is the gate. Narrow is the way. Broad is the road that leads to Come on now. It's straight and it's narrow for a reason. You have to walk your walk. Think about that. Let this be the hour you make peace with who can't go. You have to be okay with that. Now, let's see what hit deep this morning and what needs to be lived out loud. Are y'all ready to lock it in? Mercy, few there be that find it. Narrow. Let's get into it.
In the morning light so bright, it's the first light reflections quiz time. Tornado leading the way with God's wisdom. Let's start the quiz and seize the day.
Let's go.
Let's go. True or false? Walking with wise people guarantees you'll be wise. Is this true or is this false? Who to the we? True or false? Walking with wise people guarantees you'll be wise. Come on, saying, there we go. Yeah, I could spend a whole nother 30 minutes to an hour here just on that part. Family can also play a part. What does he say? Who are we called to love more than mother, brother, father, sister? Come on now. True or false? Walking with wise people guarantees that you'll be wise. That's false. See, it opens the opportunity, but you still have to apply what you observe. He who walks with wise men will be what? Famous, favored, wise, or safe. He who walks with wise men will be famous, favored, wise, or safe. Come on now. 1, 2, 3, or 4. He who walks with wise men, will they be favored, famous, wise, or safe? Michelle says wise, but we have to make that intentional decision, right? Wisdom is transferable through relationship only if you're teachable, applying it, following the rule book. What does the companion of fools will be destroyed imply? They might get hurt. Fools usually get ignored. Proximity to foolishness brings destruction, or destruction is always immediate. A, B, C, or D. Boy, deleting them glasses. I say. What does the companion of fools will be destroyed imply? A, B, C, or D. Let's see. Proximity to foolishness brings frustration. All right, fill it in. Evil questions, pursues, overtakes, flights, sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. Evil questions, pursues, overtakes, or fights, sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. Fill it in. 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know this devotional text. We went through it this morning. Let's see. Pursues. All right. Y'all got it. Evil chases those out of alignment. It's a magnet, not an accident, family. Evil pursues. True or false? All friendships are safe as long as your intentions are good. All friendships are safe just as long as your intentions are good. Is this true or is this false? What say you? What say you? Michelle said hit home too. Oh, mercy. What you say, fam? Mommy, it says false. That is false. That's false. Intentions don't cancel out the influence of alignment. Remember that. Which of the following was not mentioned as a danger? Gossip, old friendships, friendly fire, or gossiping mentors? Do we remember? Do we remember? Which of the following was not mentioned as a danger? It's just a given. Do you remember? I know this is a tough one. You're like, I don't know. I don't know. Let me help you on this one. Gossiping mentors. Mentors weren't mentioned in that context. Friends were the focus, but all still applies. I know. You're like, where you come with these questions, coach? All right. Which of the following best describes friendly fire in this devotional? Friends who correct you in love. Friends who pull you into distractions and offense. Friends who celebrate your growth. Or friends who challenge your thinking. When we mention friendly fire this morning, friends that correct, friends that pull you into mess, distractions, are those that celebrate your growth or challenge your thinking. Which one? Which one? You got it, Delisa. Let's see. Friends who pull you into distractions. Regina says, I don't know. Let's see. Mama is. Let's see. There we go. Friends who pull you into distractions and offense. There we go. Friendly fire referred to relationships. They seem supportive on the surface, but actually, woo-wee, it's like those coal mines. It's a slow fire simmering down there. That thing could explode at any minute and derailing your spiritual progress. All right, fill it in. Loyalty to old vacations, patterns, hobbies, or outfits is a betrayal to my calling. Fill it in. Loyalty to old vacations, patterns, hobbies, or outfits is a betrayal to my calling. You know, D could actually go in there. Because loyalty to some of these old outfits, you just throw it out the closet. Throw it out the closet. You'll never get back in it again. You will never, ever get back in that again. And in some cases, you never should have got in it in the first place. So just go ahead and throw it away. And don't try and give it to nobody else. How come we try and take the sin out of our house? I'm going to give it to someone. Throw it away. Throw it away. Don't hang your idols and mess off on nobody else. Oh, mercy. Run up my own pressure. Run up my own pressure this morning. Right? Patterns. Loyalty to old patterns is betrayal to my calling. Here we go. What's one key purpose of our afternoon watch? 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right, mommy, be safe. Be safe out there. What's one key purpose of the 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. watch? Celebrate progress, reveal distractions, ask for more connections, or reflect down memory lane. We're about to bring this thing on home, family. Ooh-wee. Y'all know Thursdays is usually our heavy day. You know what? Y'all can keep the good china today. Keep the good china. You ain't even got to bring my china back next week. Y'all know Thursdays is our heavy day. Fill up your plate. Got to fill your plate. Fill your plate up. The watch is about exposing what's out of alignment. It reveals distractions and misalignments. True or false? God never asked you to walk alone. Is this true or is this false? God never asks you to walk alone. We're about to bring it on into the home gate, family. I know we're running over this morning. You know, as the old Baptist pastors used to say when I was growing up, I'm almost done. We almost done. Hold my two t-shirts. Man, for real. Y'all know it. God never asked you to walk alone. That's false. Sometimes separation is required for elevation. God had to say, look here, Moses, this is what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to separate for a second. This is what I'm going to need you to go do. See, also God separated Abraham from his family. Remember that in Genesis chapter 12? He said, get out of your country, from your family, and from your papa's house to a land that I will show you. So Abraham's next level didn't start until when? He had to separate from everything that was familiar. Huh? Telling you. Here we go. Which of these is a wise next step from our devotional this morning? Pray for new people to hang with, recommit to old friends, evaluate your current circle and shift as needed, or I ain't hanging with nobody. Now I can see Charlotte. I ain't gonna talk to nobody. I ain't hanging with none of them. I ain't messing with none of them. Oh man, he will never leave us nor forsake us. Which of these is a wise next step? I'm going to find some new people to cut up with, recommit, evaluate the current circle, and make shifts. Regina said D would be C. Regina pulling a Charlotte. See, I ain't messing with none of them. I'm going to avoid them all completely. But what if one of those is your assignment? I just leave that there. You need to intentionally align with people who support your assignment. That's it. But makes it hard for ministry. Evaluate your current circle and make shifts as needed. Fam. Here we go. Ooh, let's not play with this as we close out. Every name that you allow in your life, every voice you grant access, every friend you keep on default mode, you keep them in the backup. You may only scroll through, let me see what they doing. When they get bored, those old friends, or they call and you're not doing, you may talk to them knowing that they have nothing to offer you. But you waste hour, 2 hours, 3. Every friend that you keep on default mode, they're not just people in your phone. They're architects of your atmosphere. And what you tolerate in companionship becomes what you normalize in character. This isn't just about setting boundaries. It's about protecting who you're becoming. Because while you've been asking God for acceleration, elevation, He's been saying, hey, I need separation from you. He's been asking you for separation. You don't get wisdom's reward while keeping foolishness on speed dial. You don't get divine clarity in a crowd that mocks conviction. And you don't step into favor with people who only fan the flames of your dysfunction. It can't happen. So today, this wasn't about drama. Today's devotional text was about destiny. Destiny. The people around you are either confirmation or contamination. And if you're serious, if you're really serious about walking in what God has called you to build, then it's time to align your circle with your calling. Let the pruning happen. Let the distancing be divine. Let the exit be the elevation. Let the exit be the elevation that continues to lead towards salvation as well. Remember the exit out of Egypt? Because favor doesn't just fall. Favor flows through alignment. I've said it once. I've said it twice. This is probably about the 10th time, and there's nothing you can do or say to convince me otherwise. I stand 10 toes down on that. Favor flows through alignment. Now, go walk wisely, walk boldly, and do what? Don't be like Lot's wife and look back. Don't look back. Don't do it, Miss Celia. Don't do it. Remember, you're not walking this journey alone, though. Emmanuel, God is with you. Right? Family, I love you. I truly, truly do. Walk good, do good, be good, and God willing, I'll see you back here tomorrow. All right? And bring my plates back tomorrow after y'all done. Right? And don't keep my good silverware either. All right? Love y'all. Holla. Me gone.
up to the sunrise glow. First light reflections, here we go. Torah uses God's wisdom to guide us every day. Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the